In the studios, we have George Metz with Gmetz Moving and Storage, and George is going to be talking about staging, storing, and safe handling. Now, before we get into this, I want to let you know the reason why we're doing this segment, okay? We work with a lot of folks that have lived in their homes for many, many years, and they're going to sell. And in the first segment of the show, I was talking about pretty much, the gap between today's buyers and today's sellers and what's causing that. So now one of the things I do when I go on a listing appointment, George, is I tell folks, look, we need to stage your home. Now, by staging your home, it doesn't mean that we necessarily have to bring in a third party that brings in a ton of furniture. If they already have furniture there, we can use what they already have.
Right.
Now, a system that you offer, a service that you offer, is pretty much going in their home and moving stuff around, taking care of stuff. Can you explain how that works?
So what we do is we kind of follow the realtor's lead, whether it's yours, one of your teams, or somebody else out there, that we follow what they say. So when the client has this very nice home, whether it's a very large home and they have things on every wall, the little end tables, the side knick-knack tables, that's great. You love them. They're yours. But sometimes the new buyer sees too much clutter, so we'll go in and we'll just help rearrange. We'll help center the couch on the wall, make it look better. Maybe kitty corner a certain thing, maybe not kitty corner a certain thing in a corner. So we're there to make the best out of the space that you have with the items you have.
Perfectly said. I mean, so the biggest thing is that we need buyers to go in and they need to be able to identify with your space. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that every space has its designation. It has what it's used for, and George will come in and do that.
You definitely want to distinguish the rooms. So if the living room is a living room and a gym, it's the new buyer is looking, is this a living room or is this where we work out on a daily basis? Or when you walk into a kitchen and it's an office because that's the only place that you can work, but yet you have the spare bedroom upstairs. Yeah. Maybe you move that desk into the spare room, and now you can turn that spare room into an office/spare room. Those are the things that truly, maybe to the seller, doesn't make a big difference. Yes, it may throw off your daily routine, but how fast do you want to get out of that home and into your new one is key.
George, I always say it's all about a feeling that people get when they come in the house, okay? So if they walk in and, your gym's right there, and then your kitchen is also your office, the buyers, okay, especially if they work from home or whatever, or if they're organized freaks or whatever, they might get anxious.
Right.
They might feel like, oh man, this doesn't feel right. The flow of this house, something's just not right. And it's something as little as that. And you may say, Emilio, you're crazy, but no, I swear, I've walked hundreds of buyers through doors of homes. I know exactly what they're looking for.
Right.
So having George come in and be able to move this stuff around, and we're like, maybe that doesn't look good here. Why don't we try it over there? This, that, whatever. It takes the stress, and you're already going to be stressed enough. You've lived in the house 5, 10, 20 years.
Right. So the biggest thing is, and again, we don't want to throw off your daily routine, but we want to make it where the new people coming in can see the opportunity with the home. If you have a 2.5 car garage and you want to start your packing process and you put all your boxes in there, you think you're doing a great thing. And again, the potential new buyer comes in and they look and the garage is taking up 3/4 of boxes and you can just fit your small sports car in there. They're going to say, this isn't a 2.5 car garage. What's going on? So some of that is, again, where we can help and get rid of the boxes as they're packed, bring them to our storage for that middle time. Again, it's all about making the home sellable, making the potential buyers realize the full potential of it, and not necessarily how much furniture you could fit in it. Sometimes less is more, and sometimes more is less. You don't want to empty your home either. You don't want it bare, because people still sometimes don't have that in their head to say, all right, I can put a couch there. A love seat will fit there. Some people just don't have that vision, and that's again what we're there to do, is help make sure that the potential buyers of your home can see the vision of that without necessarily, again, the treadmill or the elliptical catching their eye and throwing off their whole perception of what the property real potential is.
Absolutely. And by the way, a staged home will sell a lot faster. I believe it sells We have Shannon Brito with Premier Home Staging. She comes on the show. She had these wonderful stats, and she tracks specifically homes that she's staged and sold, okay? And she's the type of person that'll bring in all the furniture and whatnot. But staged home also means by decluttering, depersonalizing, and having somebody like George come in and take away some of your items and store them and safe handle them for you, okay? Now, a staged home on average sells in about 10 days from what we've seen, and it sells for 2 to 3% higher than it would have if it wasn't staged. Those are big numbers.
Right.
When we're talking, $300,000-$400,000, you're talking, over 10 grand right there.
And we're not talking high dollar amounts either for the staging part that we come in for. Most of the time, very quick. Sometimes it falls under a minimum. So again, those are things that we come out, we kind of educate you on what needs to be done, what should be done, and realistically, we're following the lead of the real estate agent because they know what's going to go just as well as us. So again, we just try to follow the lead, get rid of that extra stuff around there, make it user friendly, so to speak. You want to have the new people coming in being able to walk through the space and not having to worry about an avalanche of boxes falling on them as they're walking through, or you have a nice sunroom. Some people put the boxes in a sunroom, and it's great. For some of the sellers, that's a 3-season room, and they hardly ever use it. But the new buyer sees that and says, "Wow, that's a nice room." But I can't get in there, and you can't see the potential of it because it's covered in boxes.
Exactly. Never mind the stress that people put themselves through when moving. You can't help but do it. It's natural. Yep. Your whole life is almost getting turned upside down, and it's one of the parts of the process that, a lot of people fail to mention in a listing appointment. Well, that's something that I talk about because it's real, and it's going to happen. So we've got the systems, the people, and the safety net for you to be able to take care of as much as possible, and to be able to sell your home as fast and high in price as possible if you need it to move quick. Now, you might be asking, what are the steps to do this? What are the steps to use this service? 1, give me a call, 401-359-2338. We'll sit down, we'll do a whole listing presentation where you will see exactly what you can get for your property, and then I can let you know, what exactly you're going to net and take away. Okay, and we're also going to walk you through room by room and do a staging consultation. This is included in our services free of charge. Some places are charging up to $500 to $600 for the same service. Room by room, we're going to jot down everything that needs to go, everything that needs to be turned, taken down off the walls, et cetera, et cetera. And then step number 3, we call in the pros. We're going to call in George Metz with Gmetz Moving and Storage, and he's going to go ahead and get the home ready and staged for you, and he can actually store your items in his warehouse right in Cranston, I believe, correct?
Correct. We have a location in Cranston and in East Providence. So depending on whereabouts you are, we can definitely accommodate the storage. So again, truly depending on what is needed, we can get the stuff off-site to declutter the home at the staging point. Again, we have the promotion going on now where if it's a 2-week, less than 2 weeks, you don't have to pay for it. So if the homes are selling that quick, you may not have a storage fee at all. You would just have the load and unload fee for the stuff to come to our facility. But all of that stuff is written out in an estimate before the truck even shows up, so you know exactly what you're getting into way before moving day.
Wow, 2 weeks free storage when you use Gmetz Moving and Storage for that program from our show. So give George a call as well today. George, what's your phone number?
Best phone number is 401-383-6399. That's going to bring you to the office. You can ask for me. They can always get you directly to me, or anybody in the office knows everything that goes on, and they'd be happy to help you.